In the first 3 videos of our series, we followed Reyner Banham's tracks as he guided us through the invention of air conditioning and its effect on life and architecture in his present day. Unfortunately for us, his present day was the 1960s. In this video, we will attempt to fill in the blanks and comment on the condition of conditioning in 2020. To dive straight into our decade would leave many confusing gaps. We have made leaps and bounds in both technology and architecture in the 50 years that have passed since Banham's account. While he provided us with a comprehensive historical timeline, starting at Willis Carrier's invention of dew-point control, he left us at a critical point: the personal air conditioner and its rocky indoctrination into architecture. This is the cycle of air conditioning, from its invention to Reyner Banham's day, all the way to our present day, as told by a bicycle and its rider. First, we'll pick up where Banham left off, in the middle of the 20th century. Air conditioning was the hottest fixture of the time, especially in the US. A Con Edison survey showed that for the average consumer, a room air conditioner was more popular than a TV or a washing machine. Air conditioners showed up everywhere, from the home to work to cultural and sporting events. For instance, in 1965, the Houston Astrodome became the world's largest air-conditioned room. The 1970s saw quite a bit of development in air cooling. In '73, Japanese manufacturer Daikin produced the first modern mini-split unit, also known as the ductless unit. This variation of the AC operated in a similar manner to the window unit, but the components were spread throughout the house instead of being contained in one location. The purpose was for cooling one or more rooms at the same time. In '78, the Oak Ridge National Laboratory vastly improved the heat pump model, which would allow for both cooling and heating rooms. By the 1980s, air conditioning was such a staple part of American life that the US consumed more air conditioning than the rest of the world combined. In '82, manufacturer Daikin produced the first variable refrigerant flow system, a high-capacity ductless HVAC. In the 1990s, there was a focus on making air conditioning safer and cleaner. The Clean Air Act sparked a change in refrigerant from CFC to HFC, due to CFC depleting ozone in the upper atmosphere. The Oak Ridge Laboratory developed the R410 refrigerant that we use today, which vastly improved efficiency and ozone health. The past 20 years has seen quite a bit of progress in energy and efficiency standards of air conditioning. The Department of Energy has played a large role in creating these standards, aiming to lower carbon dioxide emissions and cut down on energy use. In 2007, Ecobee developed the first smart thermostat, and was later followed by the Nest Learning thermostat. From 2007 to 2012, the U.S. Energy Independence and Security Act explored methods of solar air conditioning. This included a solar open-loop system using desiccant and solar closed-loop absorption systems. In 2015, the Department of Energy explored methods of air conditioning without refrigerant or vapor compression. As of 2019, studies at the University of Missouri have been conducted to create passive cooling in the form of clothing, reflecting solar heat and allowing body heat to dissipate. While this timeline has only touched on some of the major pinnacles of air conditioner development in the past 50 years, there have been many other improvements as well. However, we are still faced with the same dilemma that Banham brought to light. How do we integrate this technology into architecture? The profession of architecture has been far from stagnant since the publication of Banham's book. Generations of architects have come and gone, styles have changed, and new social and climatic factors have become a paramount part of how the architect designs. It is safe to say that things have come a long way since the 60s. The one thing that hasn't evolved to the same extent is the relationship between the AC and the building. Window units are still widely used in many climates. In cities such as New York, where many of the buildings are older, a window unit is the easiest solution without undergoing an entire retrofit to accommodate other cooling systems. Many architects adopt strategies similar to those of Mies van der Rohe and Harry Weese, providing built-in units beneath the window or grills for unit output. Some buildings that rely on central cooling are burdened with a ginormous crown that is an HVAC perched on a roof. From the ground and air alike, you may witness the dichotomy of the AC and its building, and the building and its AC. They appear as two different entities, oddly contrasted but conjoined. Some buildings try to hide the roof units, which hardly seems like a proper way to do the air conditioner justice. It lacks integration that both the technology and the building deserve. So where does this leave us now and in the future? We will keep advancing. Air conditioning to date is much safer, greener, and efficient than it was 50 years ago. The issue is that its form has not changed drastically. It is still a clunky system that is hard to integrate. In other words, it is a constraint and maybe even still a burden for a designer. However, air conditioning is not the only way forward in tempering air. The push for sustainability in recent years has brought back cooling techniques that were pushed to the side in the air conditioner age. To start, many architects are designing for their climate again, considering thermal mass and building material, and employing strategies such as cross-ventilation, stack ventilation atriums and chimneys, solar and wind assistance, double envelopes, earth tubes, and geothermal pumps. The air conditioner is still a huge proponent in tempering air, but it is no longer the sole instrument to maintain control.